All right, we are live. Um, we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. So we're starting the call shortly. Um, so a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're joining from. I'm super excited once again to have every one of you on today's episode of C-Suite Corner with MJ. And then our topic for today, but before we go into that, I just want to give you a little bit of what Seafood Corner with MJ is. And then once again, welcome to our vibrant platform, which aims to actually explore the most crucial topic at the intersection of technology and business. This is a monthly episode, and what we intend to do is to delve into cutting edge innovation and leadership strategies with a specific focus really on artificial intelligence, um, data management, and cybersecurity. So we are looking at AI, data, and security from a business leader perspective, actually. And the aim of all of this is that we hope that the objective is to equip all our audience really with valuable insights, practical experiences, and expert perspectives that is going to aid you in navigating the ever evolving technology landscape and the impact also on business. So, for this week, we actually decided not to go. Well, they said the business of education, really, and we have a reason for that. Because we thought AI is taking the world over, and then if it has really taken the world over, let us say it's taking the world over, I think it has come to stay and it's really, really shaping every aspect of the industry. But what is very important is this. We celebrate some few days ago the Children's Day, really, or worldwide. And then it comes to mind that what is the future of education, even from at a very tender age, that what is going to be the impact of AI to education, even as we look at our kids, even from the very tender age, even to the university stage, and then probably even to when you're doing your masters and all of that. What is it that AI has in store for us in the educational sector? And that's what we want to trash today. Once again, welcome. I'm excited to be here, and I'm sure that you are going to get value at the end of the day from our discussion. And then to go over it again, like I said, the future of education, how we're going to integrate AI and human teaching. We all know today this is what we have in most of our schools. It is what the human teaching. But we're looking at how we're going to harmonize the effects of AI, the innovative effects, to be more specific, of AI with human expertise for really the future of education. And we have very amazing speakers to do justice to the topic. But before we go on, I'll say meet the host, which is my very self. My name is Olajumoke Toriola. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at Asham Limited. Very close to 20 years or 2 decades of working experience in the information technology and service industry. A lot of people call me MG. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you would have known MG, and then yes, it's a phone name, but then I like to put a disclaimer to that name. I mean, as early as possible, that this is not Michael Jackson. Don't expect me to take any steps, but then I can surprise you anyway. And then I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I'm a Microsoft most valuable professional in the M365 Apps and Services Award category. Recently, I was accepted into Microsoft Regional Director Program. I'm a co-founder of TechSteller, a community focused on bringing more women into tech. Actually, a lot of people tell us that, MJ, you guys are quite very biased. Why you just focus on women? But then I used to tell any guy that wants to join us, you're welcome into TechSteller as long as you can wear a virtual skirt. Sincerely, you're welcome. And then so with that, I'm so glad to be your host for today. And then I want us to meet all our panelists. Now, so our panelists are wonderful panelists. I mean, they have a very, very beautiful profile that it's going to take me a long time for me to be able to speak or to even do justice to it. So ahead of time, I'm going to ask for your forgiveness because I may not be able to do enough justice to your profile. I mean, if I have to take one after the other, each of you, I'm sure I'm going to spend the whole day still speaking about your professional, your professional bio and all of that, and then it will take a whole day. But then I'll squeeze this into a very, 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 very summarized form. But please do forgive me. If there's anything I missed out, please, when it is your time to talk, just throw a little bit of um more info on it. Now, the first person I'm going to talk to, I mean, I'm going to be introducing, is this powerful woman, Mrs. Christy Dasaro. I met her at Port Harcourt in one of the, no, sorry, Jos, in one of the programs that was for female initiative. I mean, and from then I've actually been very, very drawn to this exceptionally great woman, to be honest. Christy Dasaro is a professional in leadership, computer technology skills, and an entrepreneur who also empowers individuals in church and society, especially women and young entrepreneurs. Probably maybe that's why I'm quite very drawn to her. And then she has done a lot around education. She is currently the coordinator of digital transformation at the EQUA, and then a role that involves overseeing the digital transformation of the church rather and also its institution. She previously served as the rector of EQUA International College of Technology. I mean, a remarkable woman, to be honest. When she told that story, I mean, I was quite very moved. And there's always, I've got so much respect for this woman because she started her educational journey as a cleaner in that same school, but rose to become what? A rector. I think I want everybody to give her a thumbs up. She's one person that motivates, that inspires me a lot, and that's why I cannot just but bring her to this call today. She's a chartered member of the National Computer Society, a Nigeria Institute of Management and Leadership Institute, where she contributes to the excellence and leadership in the field of technology and management. She has traveled the world wide. She has been given a lot of awards. I mean, the truth about it is that I can't mention a lot of it. But I expect that by the time she comes on to start talking, please, Ma, do us the favor, give us more insight to who you are, to be honest. And because I know I've not really done justice, but because of time, I know I can't take so much. But welcome once again. Thank you for accepting this and then giving us the opportunity to showcase you on this webinar. So moving on, the next person I'll be talking about also is Mr. Ahmed Babajide Olariwaju, who is an acclaimed expert in computer science and educational technology. He focused on incorporating artificial intelligence and machine learning into education. He's the Assistant Chief System Analyst at the University of Ibadan, contributing to the Training, Research and Development Unit with a master's in computer science from the same university. Mr. Olariwaju has done a lot of research and projects which is aimed to advancing education through technology. He's recognized with awards like the Google Africa Code Week grant. He teaches at the University of Ibadan and is a Dominican University, sorry. And he co-founded AI Saturdays Ibadan and the UI, that is University of Ibadan, ArcGIS community. He is known for his work in knowledge discovery in health database, online journal system management, and leading the university AI community. In fact, I am so proud to have you once again. Thank you, sir, for joining us. We met just in the community, and since then, he has been a very, very good friend of myself, I mean, and then he has been very close to the community, I mean, assisting and also contributing immensely to it. Welcome once again. Thank you for accepting this invitation. And then next on, have very, very wonderful people today. I met Olalekan Adeeko just once online, and since then, I've been fascinated to him. I cannot tell you. I mean, he's an educator. That's the word I can describe him. And then he's going to show us something very, very, very interesting today. So please, I'll ask you to wait till the end of this program because he has something very beautiful to show us at the end of the day. Olalekan Adeoko has managed a team with a robust business intelligence analytics breakdown to develop a real-time dashboard um, to monitor students and teacher performance. So he's an educator, a data analyst who focuses on leveraging data and artificial intelligence to promote quality education. And then he has trained over 600 individuals in data analytics, utilizing tools such as Excel, Power BI, SQL, and Python. And he spearheaded remote learning initiatives for 10,000 students in 50 plus schools, and he has implemented a new learning management system. He's a co-founder of Tag-Based Digital App. And then Olalekan, please pardon me once again if I've not done justice to your title. I mean to your bio. Please do so when you come on board because I know you guys have got very fantastic, very remarkable profile. In fact, I was telling myself I am so blessed to have all of you on this call. So moving on, I have with me Olarewaju Oyiboke. Olarewaju Oyiboke is a leading voice in data analytics and management with experience leading a diverse team of data professionals. He's a community leader in the global data and low-code community where he shares knowledge and empowers others, reaching 1 million plus views of his YouTube content analytics collaboration, machine learning, and automation. Olarewaju is a machine learning and AI researcher. He has leveraged his skill and expertise in various roles such as analytics, data scientist, data steward, data management specialist, and Power Platform developer. He also used Python, Azure, Power Automate, and all of that. I'm sure if you are in the community, Olarewaju is a known name. I mean, he's a very known name. And one thing about him is that he makes learning, he makes teaching very infectious. He is teaching you, you are falling in love with the way he's teaching. That's one thing I like about him. Welcome once again, Olarewaju. I'm so happy to have you here. And then we said we just don't want to have all of everybody here to just be all rectors, to be lecturers, or to be educators. We want to have a mix. We want to hear from the students also. And this is why we're bringing on board the Microsoft Gold Microsoft Student Ambassador and a Microsoft Certified Trainer also in the person of Paul Wumaru. He's a Gold Microsoft Student Ambassador. He specializes in Microsoft Power Platform, Azure Dynamics 365 CRM, and ERP technologies. He's currently the Microsoft Just Community Leader and he's also used this role to guide and inspire others in the field. His passion for technology was the driving force behind his decision to pursue a degree in computer science from the University of Jos, Nigeria. And this passion has actually fueled his dedication to the ever-evolving world of technology. Thank you so much. We want to hear from our students, even though I know that Paul right now is no longer he's getting, he's getting to the stage of actually dropping the art and buying out of this Microsoft Student Ambassador program. But we're actually happy to have you here because we want to get great insight. And lastly, I call this powerful woman lady, I call her small but mighty. I mean, I met Stephanie at one of the events, and ever since that, I've really, really connected with her. So Stephanie is a data and project management and product design professional. She is actually passionate about driving positive change and maintaining a meaningful impact globally. She's also an Alpha Microsoft Next Student Ambassador. She advocates for diversity, inclusion, and empowerment, especially in the tech industry. She's committed to promoting accessibility and equal opportunities for all, especially individuals with disability. She's someone that actually tells me that, I mean, your greatest ability lies in your dream, in your skill, and believing in yourself. Anytime I see this lady, I'm actually very, very inspired, and I'm very honored to really meet her. Once again, I want to say a big thank you to you, Stephanie, for joining. And then, I mean, I cannot wait to hear a lot of the um, of your insight into this topic, because she's one of the people that I actually value when it comes to motivation and then inspiration. She's actually inspiration to a lot of people. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for joining us. And so that ends the introduction of my panelists. But however, to be honest, it is actually not really adequate. Like I said, a lot of these people have more than what I've said, and I'm giving them the room at any point when they're called to talk. If there is anything they want to add to to their title, they can go ahead and do that. But before we go into the discussion of the day, a little bit of housekeeping. Please note that this session will be recorded and will be made available for future viewing. You can pen down your question onto the Q&A session, and also indicate with the raise of hand feature if you actually want to speak, so we can unmute you, and then we can mute your microphone and you can speak up. Also, you can join us, follow us on our LinkedIn and then you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up to date on all our events. And then on X, we are at Six Suit Corner, and then you can actually join us. Now to the discussion of the day. While we go on to the discussion, we're actually going to be looking at the use of artificial intelligence in education, and then how it's changing the way students and teachers are learning and teaching. So this conversation is actually for us to explore how AI is improving education and the possible difficulties and advantages that comes with it. So I'm going to be starting the question and the answer session. Now, before I start, I just want you to know that this is actually divided into two phases. The first phase is when the panelists are going to give, we're going to have a bit of answer, question and answer session. And then we're going to invite Olaleko to walk us through the Microsoft Copilot in education. Is going to do a demo, and we're going to see how AI is shaping in a real life scenario of the educational system of learning and teaching, and then we can appreciate what it's doing. And after that, we'll take a few questions later on, and then we can take questions also from you, the audience, and we'll close for the day. So thank you once again. And so I'm going to begin with the question. Now, the first question goes to everyone, really. And the question is, what does the future hold for education in the integration of AI, with the integration of AI, sorry? And then in what ways can AI supplement and improve traditional teaching approaches? So I'm going to try to ask that question, and then I'm going to expect that our panelists, I'm going to call out them one after the other and expect them to please give us an insight into that. So I'll start with you, Madam Christie. Please, what's your thoughts on this? You have to unmute yourself.
So good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Yes, just pick the one that is relevant to you. So I really want to thank MJ. I thank God and thank MJ for the opportunity to be on this program. It's really timely. So the future of education with AI integration. We all know that so many people are jittering. People are not sure what will happen. Is AI going to replace human beings? Is AI going to replace the way we do things, education? Of course, it's not going to replace, but then so many things will change, as we are already seeing. So learning is changing. AI is giving opportunity for more customized way to learn. So it's giving people opportunity to learn according to their pace and to learn what they want to learn at a time. So that is really, really great in terms of education. You'll be able to customize learning for people. And then AI too is helping in a kind of captivating the way we learn. Okay, so it's giving like creativity. You know, people can create dynamic and interactive learning session with AI. So AI is really driving that in education. And also AI is helping teachers, is actually empowering. With the coming of AI, teachers are being empowered to teach better and also to do processes, you know, in terms of lesson notes, in terms of grading, in terms of you know, customizing learning method for different individual and so on and so forth. So with the coming of AI, we're seeing teachers being empowered. For those who really know the power and the importance of AI, they're grabbing it to empower or to improve themselves, upgrade themselves instead of being threatened by the AI. And also we see that AI can help teachers to do their timetable and
Okay, I think so. I'm just going to go on to real quickly. Let's find out from Mr. Ahmed. Do you have any thoughts to that question? Um, and the question again is that what does the future hold for education with the integration of AI, and in what ways can AI supplement and improve traditional teaching approaches?
Yeah, thanks a lot so much. Yeah, AI has come to stay, and unfortunately, we are still, how do I call it now? We are running away from it technically. That's the truth of the matter. A lot of people are feeling threatened. That's the truth. Unfortunately, the future is very bright. In this age of everything is getting personalized, AI gives that opportunity to provide a personalized learning experience. I mean, we have students with special needs, individual needs. AI gives us that opportunity. AI gives opportunity for learners to learn at their own pace, customize content. Recently, we saw the announcements Khan Academy and Microsoft did during the Microsoft Build. These are efforts to ensure that we get the full benefits of the advancement in AI. Intelligent systems are being developed every day, virtual reality, augmented reality, to make lesson much closer. Imagine those days where we have alternative to practical. I don't know if they still do that today. They still do that up to today, where universities, schools that don't have laboratories do some kind of alternative to practical. Imagine if the students have access to VR and AR, it makes this learning very, very easy at almost a reduced cost. You don't have to buy chemicals to do your acid-base tests. All those pendulum that we swing. These are things that make life a whole lot easier for us. Also, automating administrative processes, it can be very cumbersome. Managing grade, tracking attendance. AI will give us that opportunity to do what? To reduce this burden at the end of the day, which is very, very important because we get our feedback and assessment is done easily. And of course, most importantly, we are generating data. How do we derive insight from this data that is being generated? So educators now have that opportunity to maximize the data being generated from these systems. And of course, it's a lifelong approach. We will keep learning, and AI will make that opportunity available to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I think you've done justice. Both of you did justice to those questions. So moving on. So I'm just going to be going to Ola right now. Ola Iboke, do we have you? Can we have you? Your camera, please. And I'm gonna be
my camera
asking,
is on. Yeah. Can you see me?
Yes, absolutely. We can see you. Yes. Lovely. So the question to you is, what are the key ways AI is currently being integrated into education? I know that a lot of with Mr. Ahmed and Madam Christie has already made a lot of mention to that. But how do you envision his role involving to complement and enhance human teaching today? How do you see it? Because we know that there are some schools and there are some places, even in Nigeria, I'm not sure that it is well still integrated. I mean, a lot of schools have not started using it, but there was a prediction by one of our guests in our Assistant Corner last 2 months. As he said, believe me, 5 years from now, we'll be seeing AI tutors and in the school. So how do you see that involving to complement and enhance human teaching?
Thank you very much, MJ. I hope you're going to give us some dancing steps today because you said you can surprise us. So, hello everyone. Good evening, good day wherever you are, joining. And I would like to start by this topic of education. After education, I'll move to the institution, then I will answer that question because I just like to set some premise so that we can understand the weight of the integration of AI into education. For example, we know education to be a very foundation for everyone's growth. For us to make progress in the society, for us to have a better future, education has always been that resource or that experience that everyone goes through because it empowers our mind, it fosters critical thinking, it unlocks even opportunities. Through education, we've seen creativity, innovation, and the world has truly evolved. And it helps us to even cultivate value. So it's not only education is not only about the scientific innovations and the and inventions. It also helps to build morals because it's a way to transfer and share morals. So we've seen us creating a very sustainable and prosperous world. I would say education is the very first thing that we start with. When we get to this world, you start learning things either by being taught or by nature. So education is very key, and it's so powerful that it has gone through series of phases and bettered institutions like academic institutions, which is actually where we are centering our engagement on today. Academic institutions are very vital for preserving and propagating knowledge from primary school education to higher education, and even where we are now. Some of us are going through lifelong learning that you are not officially maybe a student in a school, but every day you learn. Every day you go through one phase of learning or the other. And academic institutions evolves. They start to also evolve, and it's an enlightenment and also intellectual. It helps our intellectual curiosity. Where am I going to? Education as a whole has changed in phases. Everything we pass, there's just that word, everything we pass, something will remain. In this world we are in, everything will continue to change. The only institution that will last till the world ends is education and academic institution. We will continue to learn. New technology, yes, we will continue to learn. New thing, academic institution will continue to remain. So if it has moved and changed in phases, I could remember vividly in my primary primary 2, I was using slate, in Ekiti State, Baptist, school. I'm not that old, by the way, but I was part of those who experienced using slate to write in class. And those experiences has truly changed, and now all these people do not even know what it is. We used to sing song that time, Olodo Rabata. Until you know how to write very well, you will keep using that slate because it's easy to erase your error and clear all those things. I will say for a very long time, 3 things has happened in academic institution and education. First, the responsibility to learn in the first phase was on students. That is why in the olden days, in the previous time, teacher will beat you if you miss something. Why? Because they expect you, the total responsibility to understand and learn is transferred to students. That's the first phase. Then that is why when you miss something in class, you will be beaten because you are expected to learn, you are expected to understand. Then, as the world continued to evolve, the responsibility changed and shifted from student to teacher. So you start seeing some schools that employ best of the teachers who actually knows how to break things down, understand things. And when you miss something, the teacher will not beat you. They will rather find a way to help you understand it. So we are seeing responsibility being transferred from not just the student now, to teacher, or some schools, even public school are now a mix of both. So some teachers and then also responsibility on students. But with AI and the age we are going into, the responsibility is now being tailored to the learning methodology, which is the missing angle here. So therefore, it is believed that when teacher is teaching and student is learning, the method through which that knowledge is being passed determine a lot with understanding that thing. And that's the missing thing in many instances here. AI is going to help us to unlock that part. Some people will say, oh, when I'm watching videos on YouTube, I like being a Nigerian, or anytime I just like the way they explain things because it's more relatable to them. They've passed that feedback to some of my content on YouTube. I could also tell, because the way I will explain something is different from the way a white man who is from the West is going to explain. The examples, the scenario they will cite is not going to be the same thing. Someone who is from Nigeria, who is from my place, might relate more and more to my experiences and my examples. That is where and it's so hard to generalize a learning methodology. It will work for some, but it might not work for others. So AI is now going to help us to unlock that new phase where responsibility to learn and understand is placed more on the learning methodology. And it's now tailored that because individuals have better way of learning. So when it understands us, it's going to now tailor that learning, and that's what Khan Academy, through the Kamigo, they're doing, and many other AI systems today. That's what they're trying to achieve, to unlock a new layer where responsibility to learn is different. So I'm now going straight to the question that is being asked, which is simply, what are the ways, I'm just trying to read the questions here, what are the ways AI is currently being integrated into education? And how do I envision its role evolving? First, different ways it's been integrated. One, we have intelligent tutor systems that actually provide personalized learning path and feedback. You know, the two speakers have actually talked about this. We are now seeing AI, but based on the premise I've set now, we know where man struggles. We struggle with the learning methodology. We cannot personalize for every student, but AI can allow us to personalize that learning method, and that's where the breakthrough towards learning happens. Because the moment it's personalized to you in a way you will understand best, because the AI system sort of knows your challenges with learning and understand those limitations you have, and is able to use your limited experience to then teach you a concept you will understand faster and better. So we are seeing AI being integrated into personalized learning. We have the writing assistance. I said this, in education, AI is going to make difficult things simple. Concepts that are so difficult become simpler because of the AI assistance. And then AI is going to make seemingly impossible concept to understand for some age group now possible, but a bit difficult. You know, there are certain concepts that we cannot understand because of the limitations of our mind. That is why people focus on different things. Otherwise, one single person should know everything, but it's not possible. That's why you are good in biology, you are good in chemistry, you are good in other area, but you can't learn everything. But there are so those you just, if I learn about astrophysics, which I'm trying recently to learn, it just looks so weird to me. Because my mind has not been so much open to accommodate that level of understanding, and so it's just hard and difficult. But what we see right here is, if AI, through personalized learning, through leveraging on all your past experiences that you think that they do not count, I can use them to help you understand this new concept better, faster, and even to the best. And so AI is going to then make hard things easier to comprehend, and seemingly impossible knowledge easy, possible now, but hard. So it could now be hard for people to understand, but it's still going to be very much more possible than before. Grading is one area. I've seen situations where faculties, teachers are now using their mobile device to grade student assessment. I've seen that where they've already have a pattern mark. The moment they place the phone on the sheet, it just automatically score, because it understands what the task is all about, and how they've done it can score them automatically. I have worked with academic institutions while I was at Microsoft, where they were using, there's a Microsoft library, Python library, that can also be used to automatically, I should remember the name soon now, to automatically score even coding assessment. When a coding assessment is given to someone, that can go through your code and give a grade to that assessment. So we now with generative AI is going to be very much more faster and better, and in all instances where grading is going to be much easier, and also in understanding a student better. I have seen scenarios where teachers are reporting students and say, "Omo yin sọ̀rọ̀ is talk too much in class, talk too much." Like, I'm preparing to get home and be beating the child. My sister has done that to her son. They are busy. He's in school now. He'll be talking. No understanding that talk is a skill. And this is what we are seeing around that skill. And this is how it can now be channeled and developed. Nothing like that. Is that you are not focusing and you are talking in school. But now, AI, even when you talk more and more, AI continue to understand that pattern and see, oh, it is your strength. You know how to talk, you know how to communicate, know how to do the, okay, maybe you should develop this area, of your skill. So it's just going to be low. I would like to stop here. I feel like I can continue to.
I know we will leave you. I know you will leave you because you're a powerhouse of knowledge. I know you will leave you, we will not leave you. Thank you so much, Ola, for throwing so much, for that elaborate insight into how AI is evolving, and then the approaches to human learning, and then AI-driven tutors, really. Thank you so much. And once again, I just want to tell you, Ola has worked with Microsoft before, so and he was a Microsoft most valuable professional also. Is a Microsoft certified trainer, so you can imagine it is all one. A lot in one. And so that's why you can see that level of passion. And he's a very good teacher. I told you ahead of time, I said he's one person that makes teaching very infectious. It makes learning very infectious. Even if you don't want to learn anything, you just want to be carried along. Thank you so much, Ola, for that. We really appreciate you for that. We'll come back to you in a bit. But then I'll quickly run to Madam Christie. Are you there? I have a question for you. Ola has said a lot around how the AI is evolving and is complementing to enhance human teaching. Please, can I have your camera, Ma? I want to see, so before I throw the question to you, if you can put on the camera, Ma. So the next question to you is, what strategies can educators employ to blend this AI-driven and human-centered teaching approaches effectively? Now, Ola has already given us the background, but what are the strategies you see from an educator perspective that is going to help to blend this AI-driven and human-centered teaching approaches effectively? Would like to see your face, Ma. I'm not seeing your face.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, Ma.
Okay. Okay, so
all right, beautiful, lovely.
The strategies that the AI will be, or the school will be adopting. Okay, so the strategy of inculcating, customizing the learning aspect for students. AI will give us the opportunity to customize. Like I heard him saying something, people have difficulty in learning some things because we're not wired the same. And so if we can cultivate, or we can take advantage of AI, we'll be able to help the student to overcome a certain weakness in him, that he is not able to cope in certain area or subject. And so we can adopt that strategy of customizing learning using AI, and we have so many AIs that can help us to do that today. But again, we also have to adopt the strategy of helping the teachers to even know how to use the AI, because there's so many misconception and confusion about AI today in in our society, in community, and also in education. So we need to adopt the strategy of helping the school management, even the teacher, to understand what AI can do and how they can use the tools to help the student to learn better the processes. And also we can adopt the cultivate the strategy of creativity in learning using AI. And I think we just completed learning AI for higher institution. You know, how we can use AI to develop lesson plans, how we can use AI to grade our students, how we can use AI to do research, how we can use AI to do so many things. And so we can focus on that strength of AI helping us to do processes of things. And also we can also leverage on adaptive learning platforms. It's also a strategy. There's so many platforms that we can adapt, to help in teaching and also learning. So I think those are some of the methods or the strategies: training, learning, and then, customizing the learning methodology or the learning process for different scenario, different individual. It will really help. And also,
Absolutely,
I'm also considering our context, because we're also in a context that will prefer having contact. We're context of community. We're community people. And so it's very difficult, this issue of customizing learning for individual, and from the context of AI, we see that it's encouraging individualistic. So I don't know if we are going to help having AI that will encourage the community way of learning, contextualizing it to our context, to our setting, and not just doing or adopting what has been developed for other contexts or other culture. But if we can develop our own that will suit our own situation and the context that we learn in.
Absolutely. I agree completely with you. Thank you so much, Ma. So I think my takeaway from you is that it's quite very important for us to see at the end of the day how even, yes, we're adopting this AI, but there is a seamless kind of fusion or blend with both the AI-driven system and also the human teaching, and then that is tailored to our own unique need in Africa or Nigeria to be specific, because a lot of people abroad, yes, with the individual nature of AI can make it very easy, but in the African context, actually, we're actually a kind of community people, and then we feel more we can relate more to people, or we can relate more to individuals when we are having interaction with them. So how we can blend these two separate words together is what I can get from you. Thank you so much for that insight. Thank you, Ma. I really appreciate that. And then I think I'll be moving on to Mr. Ahmed right now. My question is to Mr. Ahmed. My question is, what obstacles? Now, I know that Madam Christie has already made a comment around the fact that, yes, apart from having AI tutors or having an AI-driven system, we should also see how we can blend it together with the human way of teaching. But I want to come to you right now that what obstacles do teachers encounter while adopting AI? And what strategies do you think they can use to surmount these challenges? It's still in line with what Madam Christie has said, but I just wanted to throw more light into is that what obstacles do teachers encounter while adopting AI? Yes, I know you made mention of it, that a lot of us are scared and there's been a lot of myths and perception around AI. But how do you think, or what do you think institutions should be putting in place to help teachers especially to surmount these challenges around adopting the AI tools? Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
please, I would like
thank
to see your
you. Thank you
camera.
so much. I was actually enjoying Oyiboke's presentation. You just cut him off.
If I leave him, he will not let us go here. I will still have a lot.
So I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah, truth be told, there are quite a lot of obstacles. I've been to several sessions where they will give me a very bogus topic to come and discuss on AI. And you get there and people will be asking you things like, hey, excuse me, sir, this I don't know how to generate a table of content. You're like, wow, are we still at table of content generation? So sometimes you just leave aside your AI topic and just put that aside and now start teaching automation in Microsoft Word. So it is very, very sad. It is very, very sad. We are employing teachers, but we are not providing support for them. Our curriculums are obsolete. They have not changed. That's the truth. So we cannot overemphasize, just like Madam Christie said, we cannot overemphasize the issue of training. It's very important. Also, issue of resistance to change. Even administrators feel threatened. It's a simple truth. There is nobody who will not feel because they don't know how to use these tools. I'm not talking of AI now. Basic ICT, the basic of the basic. We are struggling with it. You talk to people about collaboration, and people are like, I will send it by me. Oh, let me print it and you do the question on the hard copy. We are still at that stage. But thank God we are moving gradually. I mean, it's gradual. It's gradual. Even while we are around that area, we still have challenge of infrastructure. I had to stay back in the office to be able to join this session for two reasons. I'm assured of good internet in my office. I'm assured of, I'll have a good ambience, power is guaranteed, a whole lot is guaranteed. You get home, even if you have an inverter in your own house, your neighbor will put on generator. Oh yeah, how will you go about it? So we have this challenge of infrastructure. A lot of schools don't have infrastructure. Even when they have it, I mean, I was in 2018 or 17 when I got the Google Africa Code Week grant to train selected schools. I went to a school, they said they had 100 computers. Bring the 100 out, all the batteries were gone because the principal simply locked them up. The principal simply locked them up in the store. I went to another school, they had 20 desktop. The principal gave out 10, he left 10 in the store. So when those 10 get bad, they'll bring the many for 5 years in the store. These are challenges. So even when it comes to cost, I mean, let's not deceive ourselves. To adopt AI is expensive. I mean, MJ, how much do you pay in different subscriptions? Just try and imagine. Difference on one thing or the other.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I can imagine. Even when these schools, even if somebody comes and a foundation comes around, government comes around, they pay 1 year license for the schools. After the first, what happens? These are challenges that we are still doing. We are back. So of course, we can't be talking about challenges. What are the possible solutions? We found the curriculum, regular training session. You know, the way the community would do tech event, we should have that kind of thing in the schools also. I mean, strictly, we're happy that the Minister of Communication now is doing a lot in doing. I mean, the tech ecosystem is now being imbibed among civil servants now. Now we have a meetup every month now. Civil servants having meetup. We bring different speakers, tech speakers. Amazon is supporting them. A lot of support that is coming from there. So also change management. We must change. We do promote that culture of innovation and openness to new technology. Yeah, we can't talk about this anymore. Infrastructure, there must be grants. There must be grant designed to solve this problem. We must look for a way to get solution. Yeah, cost management. We cannot rely on imported softwares. We need to start supporting, enabling, homegrown tools instead of looking for dollars to pay for some of these solutions. I think it's very important that we look for homegrown tools that can support, that can drive this initiative. OpenAI, we can develop our own solutions to ride on these things. A lot of LLMs are out there now. So thanks a lot so much.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And this is the whole beauty of this discussion. The discussion is not about just promoting and saying how beautiful AI is, but let us look critically into the challenges, especially as it is into the context of our own immediate environment. And hopefully this message can go out, and then the relevant set of people can also listen to and say, oh, this is where they can start channeling their energy and see how they can make the infrastructure or the tools available for our teachers. Because believe me, one of the things I've seen with Nigerians is that even with our learning, our educational system, as much as it is affected and we have to really study under a very strenuous condition, the beauty about it is I don't know whether it is that strenuous condition that has built a lot of resistance or energy in us, because when we go outside the country, we are always excelling. If you go outside the country today and you look at the first class in any university that you've gone to, and you'll find out that Nigerians are topping and topping it. And you'll be wondering, especially when they go for their masters, you'll be wondering, is it the strenuous condition back home that has given us this? So imagine if we have that tenacity to work and we have that tenacity to study, how much more if we have an enabling environment. I'm sure we will be more than the China of the world today. That's what I believe. So, having this kind of conversation and then throwing that to light is actually a way for us to help and then see that, the relevant government or the institution can look into this area critically and see how they can empower the system for an AI-ready, I use the word AI-ready educational system. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Med. You really hit the nail on the head. I would say, well, not in a very nice way, but the truth must be told. Thank you so much. All right. So moving on to the students, we don't want to have this discussion without asking our students what is it they really want. So I'm going to be starting with Paul. I'm one of the good Microsoft student ambassador. One of the things I know about AI is that today people used to say, I know one of the things I know about me is that I hardly use calculators. And then I think a way for me to exercise my brain is to see how simple things I can calculate it without having to use the calculator. But you find that today that a lot of things is happening. And with the AI system that is coming, some people will say, oh, MJ, you still want to leave this attitude of still wanting to do it by yourself. But I feel that to some extent, I still want to exercise my brain. But then I want to come to the students. How do you think, Paul, this is to you. How do you think students perceive AI technology in education? And what way do you think what impact really do you believe it will have on their learning experience? And that's why I started with my own background. You find out today that if you ask some of the children of today and you say maybe on the spot, 7 times 8, you can be asking a primary 2 or a primary 3, and then he's still looking at you struggling starting to start from 7 times 1, 7 times 2, and all of that. So you have that challenge already. Then you now come to think about what if AI comes into play? What impact do you believe is going to have on their learning experience? So from you as a student, from your own perspective. So the question today that I want to ask is that what what impact do you believe that AI technologies in education will have on the learning experience of students? Over to you.
Good day.
Yes, I want your camera. We've not seen you. I don't think we have your face.
Okay, my camera is on.
All right.
Can you see me now?
We can see you now. Yes, we can.
Okay. Good day, everyone. My boss is engineer. We can permit to say engineer, and the able lecturer. Welcome everyone to the audience, wherever you're viewing us from. You're all welcome. As audio contribution was going on, a lot of things were going through my mind. The beginning of AI and how it all started and how students began to hear about it. And especially when ChatGPT came up newly and someone will just tell you just ChatGPT this thing. Like, what's ChatGPT? It's an AI tool from Microsoft. You can easily prompt then students on campus were like, so I could really and some were like, so can I ask ChatGPT to suggest project for me and stuff like that? So we had so many who were doing that, and ChatGPT was really giving them the kind of project to do and things like that, which was much. It was good as much as it give them a perspective into what they could actually generate. So generally, students perceive this AI technology in education with a mix of optimism and concern. Optimism in the sense that it drives their minds into a lot of things they want to explore. They want to learn a lot of things from me. You can look at efficient learning platform. You can look at targeted learning for them. Then it brings a lot of challenges. And the good side of AI is that uh, Dr. Ahmed was saying something about a lot of lecturers and a lot of institutions not having this common IT knowledge. Now, and then talking about archaic or outdated modules and content in university. Well, I think AI is an answered prayer for students because whether they like it or not, AI will revolutionize that. Because I could imagine students and lecturers in the class, and this lecturer just bringing up a topic that has been outdated, and this is a student who have had a lot of learning from AI, from online platform, and he's in the class, and the lecturer is totally giving them what is behind. And maybe the student now prompts a question of something of that nature. You see, he has challenged this lecturer to see one embarrassed. Secondly, this is something that every one of them knew. And then you have a Gen Z generation that are tech savvy, and whatever you are teaching them, they're checking up online. And now the lecturers are forced to check their curriculum. What do we present to the school? So I believe that whether they like it or not, AI has a positive angle in the school that will make so many institutions today reach out to consultant, please come train the lecturers on particular technology because they know that it's changing the narratives. For instance, now for final year students, like I'm a final year student, almost at getting over it. Now there's a problem where you have a professor is telling students, okay, we're going to check out your project and then editing, check out for any editorials and things like that. And then the next is asking the student. I remember a lecturer asking me, were you able to edit your sentences? You're able to put everything together so perfectly okay. And I told him I use Microsoft Word, and Microsoft Word has a tool that helps you in. But show me. And the moment I said, instead of him showing me some things, I ended up showing him most of those platforms, which is an AI in Microsoft Word, and what to do. So you can now see in my presenting my project defense, and the defense external professor was asking, submit me your code, and I just gave him just he saw a sheet, and I was like, where are the remaining code? I said, that's the whole code, sir. And like, what platform did you use? And he said, I use Microsoft Power Platform. What is Microsoft Power Platform? Defense turned to another thing. I now started giving out a different lecture. I was like, wow, that's good. You mean the whole thing, just this little code, and you're able to produce this wonderful app, the automations and everything with the AI inside? I said, yes. So he was thinking about, like, really the university needs to come up with something of this nature. So what am I driving at? The impact on the educational institution is real. So whether they are ready for it or they are not ready for it, they are going to be forced to embrace it. Because if you don't embrace it, then nobody gets into your school, nobody wants to come into that university. The concern now is this for universities, especially, and polytechnic and the rest. Permit me to say this now is that most people won't notice ChatGPT. We're now using ChatGPT in the exam hall. Understand? Which is the negative impact of it. So when they get into the exam hall, they could slip their phone inside, well, without anything, and then they could just bring out the phone, find a way to squeeze it, and we're asking ChatGPT, prompting it with the question, and it's giving them, and they're writing it in the papers. So that became a serious concern. A lecturer was telling me that he was so shocked that a student was answering the question with a clear English, with all authority in the English, and I'm like, how did this student get to know so fast like this? And that is the negative angle that AI is impacting the students. That I believe that with time, as much as the university understand this, they are able to mitigate it and see how they can correct that. I think I will just stop lastly to talk about another impact that AI is having in the university in the aspect of accessibility. University of Jos has this a department for the people with disability and the rest. We have the blind, we have those who cannot see, but we're able to introduce that, and then you have them knowing, listening to AI tools like some of the Microsoft laptops that we have, like the Surface Pro, some go for Dell and then HP. That is able to interpret some of the things for them, explain some of the courses that the lecturers are teaching them, and that is giving them a heads up. So it's supporting that angle and bringing out a lot of targeted learning for them. So the students get to learn, they get to go out and explore. I only have to bring out the concern for universities in the aspect of students looking at malpractice angle and also affecting their way to calculate. Somebody asking them 3 times 3, that as you're saying, you could easily just say 3 times 3, 9. Now the person AI has made it for him easy, and then for him to think that's become an issue. So I think that is where the universities are looking at what do we do, because it's affecting the thinking level of the students down. So let me stop here. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much. I mean, I like the way you put a balanced context into that question. I mean, how you have it in a very balanced thoughts. And funny enough, I think I appreciate that. That explanation around how AI is going to revolutionize the teaching system, where a teacher comes into the class, a lecturer comes into the class, and is teaching very old content, obsolete content, and then the students are saying no, because they are now more updated with AI giving them the content and all of that. And then it becomes a learning curve also for the lecturers. Thank you so much. I think that is a very, very brilliant angle. I love that. And also the key part of it, which I got, is that there has to be some form of a balance to it, especially from the student angle. While the impact of AI to education is quite very, tremendous impact. However, it's also very important that you strike a balance where you are not completely reliant on it, but you can also develop your thinking and your creativity as you make use of AI. Thank you so much for that. And now to Stephanie, my next question is to you, I'll call her the powerful lady in the house. Stephanie, please, I like your camera. You've turned it on. Please, yeah. So the question to you, I want you to unmute at this time. Yeah. The question to you right now is, what are the innovative methods through which artificial intelligence can be utilized to improve student engagement? And I say this specifically because we know that a lot of students, we have different kinds of students and they have their different kinds of needs. Some with very special needs. What are the innovative methods you think that with artificial intelligence, we can utilize that to improve the student engagement in the classroom? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ma. for the opportunity. Well, as for the question, I would say the first thing is when we are talking about inclusion, the first thing is creating something that is personalized to everybody's needs. That is, what I'm trying to say is creating a personalized learning path. One of the significant ways that AI can, improve student engagement is through personalized learning path, because teaching people, they are not two people are different. They are not the same people. That means their capacity for learning is different. So when we create something that is tailored to me, it will be different from something that is tailored to you, because the way I learn is not the same way you learn. So these AI systems can now help to, analyze the individual student performance, and then they can now analyze their learning styles and their preferences. Then they use that to, create the customized learning experiences. And this approach would help students to be more engaged. It will help students be more engaged, by ensuring that the content is relevant and it is, appropriately challenging. It is relevant to the person. And another thing is they can do intelligent tutoring systems. Intelligent tutoring systems, as per, these systems can identify areas where students struggle. If let's say now mathematics, I struggle in calculus, the AI system can identify where in calculus that I struggle with, and you will now address it promptly. And these intelligent tutors cannot, when they address it, it helps the students, because now the thing is tailored to their needs. So it's not like they're just teaching it like it's just teaching as a whole. It's not like it's just teaching like, okay, teaching everybody using the same method. It's now tailored to my needs. So if it is, how do I say it now? If it is true listening, or if it is true, okay, do it this way, it will take a different approach to addressing that my problem. And it will help me to stay motivated, because now I know that, okay, I have this fault in calculus. I'm not good with this calculus question. I'm not good with this calculus area. But I'm not like, okay, I'm not good with it, so I'm just going to leave it. I now know that, okay, there's an AI tool that is there to assist me with the problem, that is there to assist me and make it easier, make me understand it, make it easier for me to understand and break it down to the way I learn. And another thing I would say is interactive, something virtual assistants. Myself, I use virtual assistants a lot, especially if I want to especially if in school, I'm trying to understand certain topics or understand certain concepts. I use this virtual assistant such as chatbots, let's just say ChatGPT. These things can engage students in interactive questions, in interactive conversations, can help them to answer questions and also provide additional resources. And these virtual assistants, we all know it now, ChatGPT doesn't how do I say it? If you come here at 3 p.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, it's there, it's 24/7. And these things will offer support to the students and even keep them, engaged outside regular classroom hours. And another thing is assessments. AI can create adaptive assessments that would adjust in real time based on the students' responses. And these would keep students engaged, by providing them with the appropriate level of challenge and avoiding frustration from overly difficult questions. Yes. So these adaptive assessments will ensure that students remain motivated and interested in the material. So let's say now I have the calculus textbook and I'm struggling with a question. I'm just struggling with it. I just go to my AI or my virtual assistant or whatever. I go there, I try to understand the concepts. And lastly, I would say that AI can help with, collaborative learning. It can facilitate and enhance collaborative learning, by forming these groups, by tracking the process the progress of the individuals, and providing insights into their dynamics. And it can also help to ensure that all students are actively participating, and the collaborative tasks given to them are more productive and are also engaging. And also lastly, I would love to add this, I would love to add this last point. This last point is, personalized recommendations. AI can offer, personalized recommendations, just like as we have on YouTube now. You go on YouTube, you type data analytics. I'm sure if you watch 1 or 2 videos, your whole YouTube feed will be filled with data analytics courses. So these AIs can help to offer personalized content recommendations. I go online now, I'm having issues with calculus. I go online, I go to my AI or virtual assistant, whatever, and then I type on calculus. It will give me a list of content recommendations, articles, videos, activities, whatever thing that can help me with my calculus problem. AI would recommend these contents for me, and these contents would help me to stay engaged, to help me to understand it on a different level, will help me to look for relevant contents that would align with their interests, that will align with my own interests and my own learning needs. And I believe that with these students, I believe that with these are the innovative methods that students can use to improve their engagements. Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you. I mean, Elson, you see, I didn't want to cut you because you engaged me all throughout. I mean, it was all the points you were dishing out are actually very, very valid ones. Thank you so much. I like the part of the scenario of the calculus. We used to call it calculus in those days in school as a way of fun. Calculus, we know it's calculus. We just used to make it like fun to say. And then the fact that you can go and then you use AI and it can bring content that are relevant really to your specific need, and then bring recommendations, and at the same time also enhance your learning skill, how you learn, how you are also engaged. I like all of those points you brought forward. Thank you so much for this. I know we're supposed to take a second question, but at this stage, I want to quickly pause and rather bring Olalekan in, because it's actually supposed to have come in since 5. I mean, but the discussion has been so very interesting. I don't know how to cut anybody short. I know we all told ourselves that we're just going to have 2 to 3 minutes to answer some questions, but no, everybody has been very awesome. So after Olalekan's demo, I'll bring us back, and then I'll bring back the panelists, and then we'll answer one question one more time. So without wasting much of our time, Olalekan, are you available for us? Are you there? Please, can we see your camera?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Camera is on.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much. So I wanted to take, Olalekan, like I said, is an educator. I watched him for a very first time, and since then I've formed like a friendly relationship with him, because I see him as one of those forces to reckon with. He's actually someone that, even while he was going through all of the beautiful things of co-pilots in education, it was really so interesting, captivating, and it was giving me a lot of ideas. And I told myself, no way, I'm going to bring you back to this call. I'm going to bring you to one of my 6-shoot corner in MGA. And here we are today. Thank you so much, Olalekan. Olalekan Adeoko is going to take us in co-piloting education, and he's going to do some demo real fast for us. So let's quickly take the stage, please. So, I'm handing it over to you. Thank you so much. Please, I think one of us just show him some love, encouragement. Please send some emojis to him. All right, okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody. To start with, how many minutes do I have so that I'll know to just manage the time?
Because I know, yes, you have 30 minutes.
30 minutes. All right. All right. So thank you for the opportunity. Really, thank you for hosting this kind of a program. Research has shown from Hedwig, they said about 87% of our teachers said they've never attended any professional development training on AI. So you coming up with something like this, we go a long way to help the teachers out there. And Mr. Ahmed, you turn off your camera too, and Olarewaju. Wonderful work you're doing, Mr. Ahmed. I remember there was a time I attended one of your sessions on Microsoft Fabrics on a particular Saturday. Big ups. And then to Olarewaju, yes, our path have crossed many times, right? So you were data first, and then you came to Abeokuta with Ola Williams on a particular day. I think we chatted for a few minutes. Big ups to all of you. These are the guys that are doing quite a lot of work around data, around all this AI stuff, locally and globally. So it's an honor for me to be on the platform with all of you. And Paul, I love your insights, and the same with Stephanie. I'm happy that these are the students that we have today. I just hope that we can say the same for the larger percentage of students out there and for the lecturers out there as well. Okay, so I will be doing a short demo on Copilot. And while I was thinking, I was like, okay, do we do some advanced stuff? Do we just start from the basics, you know? But I would rather just start from the basics because yes, many of us have a small percentage of us are the same set of people that are attending these sessions. We are to a larger extent at the particular stage, but many people are still out there. They are still thinking, what are we talking about? When we say AI, when we say Gen AI, when we say reasoning engines or search engines, what are we actually talking about? So I would rather take it from the beginner's level, and then we'll work our way up that way. Okay, so Copilots, yes, we know this is from Microsoft, and we know OpenAI came up with the ChatGPT in 2021, and since then people have been doing a whole lot of stuff with Gen AI. So there is Copilot from Microsoft, right? And that is what we are going to be focusing on today. Okay. But before I move on to sharing my screen, I want to say this. It's a Yoruba adage that says, Ailapa Ladaumu, because I've been getting that a lot from our teachers, and even not teachers, again, everybody out there saying, ChatGPT is no longer bringing forth good responses. Oh, Copilot is not usually giving me the kind of responses that I'm kind of looking forward to from this Gen AI. So I would say, you know what, without having the necessary strength or capability, one will continue complaining about the inadequacy of a particular tool. I think that's like my own translation of the Yoruba adage that I said. So if you don't know how to prompt engineering, if you're not very conversant with how to write your prompts, then you will continue to complain about the kind of responses you're getting from this Gen AI. So I'll go ahead to share my screen and then show us the Copilot interface, and then we'll do one or two things with Copilot, at least for some of us to get familiar with Copilot and to say, oh, this is what we're talking about. So with Copilot, you can access Copilot using different platforms, right? So you can go straight to the web and you access Copilot. So let me just move this to another screen here. All right. So you can go to the web by typing the URL copilot.microsoft.com. So that will give you access to Copilot. And you can even do this without signing up or without signing in, just that it has some limitation. But when you sign up for a free account, you sign in using your account, then you'll be able to do more. So we are going to be focusing on the free version of Copilot, at least the one that I'm sure that many of us will be able to practice either on our mobile phone, on our tablet, or on our PC. But that doesn't mean that I won't just say a few things about the pro version of Copilot, especially the one that is embedded in Microsoft 365. Okay, so to start with, we can access these by going to copilot.microsoft.com. And this is the interface you get, exactly what you have on my screen. So you have the Copilot here, you have the notebook here that we'll see along the way. And you already have your text box here where you can drop your prompt and then you send it. It gives you a feedback. It gives you a response. So with Copilot, you can as well choose your own preferred conversation style. So you can decide to say, oh, I don't want to stay with the more balanced that we normally get there by default. So you want it to be more creative, or you want it to be more precise and give you something to be more precise. So you have these three options here when you are on the Copilot of Microsoft.com. To my right here, we also have some plugins. For some of us that are familiar with ChatGPT, you know, for you to use plugins on ChatGPT, you must be on the premium, probably using the GPT-4 or the Zero. So, but for Copilot, you have some plugins that you can still use, right, for free. So under these Copilot GPTs here, you have the Copilot here, you have the designer here, which is like the Microsoft version of, I'll call it maybe Canva or the Adobe Express and all that, where you can still design images, you can design flyers and all that. So you have this GPT here. You have the vacation planner here, cooking assistant here, fitness trainer here. This is just to tell you that it is not just about you dropping your prompt here and you get your feedback. You can still do quite a lot of things here, right? And if you click on the plugins, it will also show you some other plugins here. And it says you can choose up to 3 plugins for a conversation. So there is one plugin there. I hope I'll have enough time to talk about it later, and that is Suno. And I'll tell you how educators can leverage this Suno in their classroom as well. So this is the interface for copilot.microsoft.com. If you're not using it on the browser, you can as well use it directly from your Windows 11. So if you're using a Windows 11, look at my own screen here on the bottom corner here. I have my Copilot here. So I can as well be using my Copilot directly on my Windows 11. So whether I'm on any other window on my PC, I'm on Microsoft Word, Excel, or anywhere else on my PC, I can still launch the Copilot here and I'll be able to still use it. And this one is on my Windows 11 PC. So you can still use your Copilot on your PC. That's another way. The third way is if you're using a Microsoft Edge. If you're using a Microsoft Edge browser, let me close it and do that again. If you're using a Microsoft Edge browser, like I do here now, you also have Copilot right there on your browser. So you don't need to exit a particular window and then you launch another tab or another window for you to use your Copilot. So I can launch my Copilot from the browser here and I get to still drop my prompt here and it gives me feedback here. There are some 1 or 2 advantages of using the browser version of the Copilot here, because you can as well chat with the content on your web page. So you can open it and tell it to summarize what you have on a particular web page, right? I will demonstrate that too. And you also have the compose here, where you can modify, be more specific about the kind of responses you want from Copilot. So if you click on the compose, you'll be able to write, and then you have other additional tones there, right? You know, on these other parts, you only have creative, balanced, and precise. But from the Edge Copilot here, you can change the tone to professional, to casual, to informational, funny, and then you can specify the formats and say paragraph, email, ideas, blog post. You can as well mention the length if you want it to be short, medium, or long. That doesn't mean that you cannot achieve all this writing it yourself, but it will now require a kind of a balanced or a more detailed prompt from you to achieve all that you have here. So you will be the one to write it in your prompt, to specify the format, to specify the length, to specify the tone and all that. So you have it here. This is like the third way you can access the Copilot. The fourth, you can access it on your mobile phone. So maybe you have your mobile phone and you want to like say, oh, I want to download it on my mobile phone on the go, so that you can just easily use it on the go. So you can download Copilot on your mobile phone, and then you can write your prompt. So that's just laying the foundation, ensuring that we know where to get access to these tools that we are talking about. Okay, so what can we now do with Copilot as educators? The panelists have covered a lot, including the student as well. So we've said you can do personalized learning, you know, adaptive learning. You want it to ensure that, oh, teachers can even come up with more detailed content, more recent content, and they are not just focusing on recycling the same textbook or the same notes that they've been using for ages. So it can help us do a whole lot of things. So I will just focus on a few, and then we'll write sample prompts and we'll both look at the feedback together. All right. But before I jump on writing the prompt, I want to just share some few strategies that teachers can take notes of when they are trying to write their prompt, so that we won't end up saying the Cutlass is not sharp enough, or Copilot is not that kind of intelligent to respond to our prompt. So I have some strategies here, right? I said you need to come up with clear and specific instructions. So your instructions must be clear, must be specific. Yes, these tools, they've been trained, they act human-like, but that doesn't mean that they are human, right? It doesn't mean that they are human. It doesn't mean that you can have your conversation on and on and off. You say so much, and then you expect it to be able to understand everything to the last detail. You don't need stories. Go straight to the point. Let it be clear. You can even use different lines to just say, oh, I want you to give me a short note on photosynthesis. Make sure, you don't even need to write make sure, for example. Audience is 8 years old. Length is 1 paragraph. You want to be clear, so that when these tools are trying to assess your prompt and come up with responses, they will be able to give you what you want. So number one strategy is clear and specific. Okay, and then you give it enough context. I do make this analogy. I say, if I should tell my boy, maybe we are all having fun in the sitting room, and I say, run to my room and bring a book on the shelf. Just that. Run to the room, bring a book on the shelf. Bearing in mind that we have 2 shelves in our room, and there are a couple of books on each of the shelves. So the boy will just run inside the room and bring any book, and the boy will run back. Then I'll say, no, now I want this book or that book. But because the instruction wasn't clear enough, the boy will just run and bring any book. But if I should say, go to my room on the red shelf and bring the book titled Things Fall Apart, the boy will run straight to the room, head straight for the red shelf, and then look for Things Fall Apart. So this is what we mean by saying give it clear, specific instruction. If I should say, give me definition of photosynthesis, it can give me a definition suitable for a PhD student, for a master's student, for any category of student. But if I'm teaching primary school pupil, I need to be able to say, give me definition of photosynthesis. The audience is what? Grade 7. And simplify it in a way for a newbie, and then come up with examples like the everyday example that somebody living in Nigeria can relate with. Or if they love sports, use a sporting atmosphere or sporting example, right, to explain this particular context. So we must be able to give it clear and specific, give it enough context. You can also do what we call role play, persona. Act like an experienced 20-year-old experienced teacher, a teacher of 20 years experience, or act like a math teacher who is very conversant with calculus. Then the next set of instruction you give it will be able to come up with something more concise for you. So you can make use of that persona. And then analogy works to describe what you want and then give it the instruction. That way you are leading it. It's not just going astray, trying to think, oh, what am I doing? Okay, you can also use the debate style and say, oh, I want you to tell me the pros and cons of this. Oh, look at what I've done. Can you criticize it? So these are just the strategies that we can use. But let's just get into it now and write some simple prompts. Okay, so I am taking the role of a teacher. So I want to come up with like a lesson plan on a particular topic. Okay. Oh, I want a lesson plan on circulatory system, for example. And my lesson notes should be for grade 9 or grade 10, for example. If I should come inside Copilot here, maybe I want to leave it at more balanced, and I just come here and say, oh, write a lesson plan on the topic circulatory system. If I should just do this, write a lesson plan on the topic circulatory system in a biology class. To some people, they will say, oh, this prompt is okay. It should be able to give us what we want. Yes, it will, and we will see. So let me hit the enter button. It will go ahead and think and say, oh, what do I write? And the way these GPTs, this model works, it's not that they know the question that we are asking. That's another thing entirely. It's based on prediction. It predicts the next word that should follow this word, that should follow that word. So if you don't give it enough context and enough information, you are not likely to get what you want. But if you're aware that this tool is not that all in all, it's not Einstein that is hiding behind it and providing us the feedback. It's just prediction. Predict the next word, and all that. But if you now want to get the best, you will be able to give it more context. Look at what we have, and we will together criticize this and say if this is okay for a typical, let's say, SS2 teacher's lesson note. Oh, give me a lesson note on circulatory system. The objective is there, right? Grade level, it's guessing. I did not mention the grade level, so it just hallucination. So it's there. The duration, 60 minutes. And we know that most schools in Nigeria, maybe 40 minutes. If it's double period, that's 80 minutes. Okay, materials, it's just coming up with some things. Introduction, main content, and all that. So this is something. But if I should now say, oh, this is not what I want, and that is another thing that we should learn when using these tools. We continue to iterate. So we don't just give it one prompt and you assume that, oh, it should give me the best, or whatever it gives you, I should run with it. The same way you go to your Bing or you go to Google and you don't just stop at the first research results. It's the same way you continue to iterate, tweak your prompt till you get what you actually want out of it. So we will edit this prompt now. I can edit it here, but I don't want to take this away. So I'll just copy it and come back here again and say for a biology class, okay, then I want to add more information. So I want to say, oh, grade is 10. I want to say use 21 CLD, 21st century learning design. So I want that. I want you to introduce problem-based learning. I want that there. Use Nigeria curriculum. So I am adding more things so that I want the lesson plan to speak to my personal need, not just something out there for everybody. And maybe I want hands-on session for the students. Then I want to say time is maybe 80 minutes. Okay, so if I do this now and I just hit enter, the response will be different from the first response that I got, because this time around, I've been able to add more context. I've given it enough information to help it come up with what I want. Even with this, that's another thing, ethics. Even with this, teachers are not expected to just run with this and then you just copy this, put it in your lesson notes and say you want to submit. The decision of any generated AI's response, the final decision lies with human. So team human plus AI remains the winning team. So whatever you're getting here, you should still be able to look at it, because that's another thing with Gen AI. It will not always give you correct thing. So we need to understand that and not see it to the almighty that has solutions to whatever we want. So now we have the lesson plan that we can copy and then build on this. Again, build on this. Don't just take it as if this is what you want and you want to run with it. Okay, build on it. Team AI, team human remains the winning team. You can just use the AI to help you do the heavy lifting while you still do the thinking yourself, right? So we can use it to generate lesson plan like this. What else can you do? I want to create assessment for my student. So I can still come here and say, based on the content, because I am still on this particular page, it will still have that memory of what I am still writing. But if I want to change the topic entirely, then I can come here and say new topic. That means I want it to forget about circulatory system and be ready for something else. But if I just say based on the content above, and I say, oh, come up with 10 multiple choice questions and answers. So if I do this now, it will come up with multiple choice questions and answers based on the content. When was it Paul that was talking earlier, and Stephanie too, they were talking about students now using AI in the exam hall, and teachers are now finding it difficult to cope, right? That is the reason why I put in the chat. I said we now need to reimagine assessments. So the age of just giving the student, testing their lower order thinking skills, you just thought when you look at Bloom's taxonomy of learning, you've got the lower order and higher order. Lower order focusing on knowledge and comprehension. It is when you move up that you get to application, analysis, and synthesis and evaluation. But most of the questions that our lecturers give us, they merely focus on the lower order thinking. And that way, students can use Gen AI or your search engines to get the answers. But if I am giving you like a case-based question, I am challenging your application, you won't be able to just run to ChatGPT and give you the direct question, the direct answer, right? I was at University of Ibadan for an educational conference where we had about 25 professors from education department and all that. We had NECO, WAEC, all of them. And during my presentation, I mentioned this, and one of the examining bodies said, no, it is impossible for us to ask them application-based because of the national curriculum. And I was just like, okay, this is not an avenue to start arguing. So we're not saying that you should do something way outside the curriculum, but the way we structure our question should make more sense. If you ask me, when did Nigeria gain independence? That's fact-based question, and it's part of education. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we shouldn't ask such questions, but that is different from why did we fight for independence? That's something else. That way, the students will need to do a lot of thinking before they come up with the response. So you can also say, oh, I want a project-based assignment on the topic. This way you want something different from the multiple choice. Multiple choice can test their facts. You test their, oh, what is this? What is that? But now we want to dig. It is coming up with the tasks that you can give your student. Conduct a research on circulatory system, focusing on the heart, the blood, and the component. You now have something that you can give the student. So you can do this step by step, continue to iterate, continue to build on this. What else can you do? I want to come up with rubrics to mark this particular question that I want to give my student. So you can as well use AI to come up with rubrics. Okay, I want to say create a rubric to assess the project above. It will also come up with rubrics that I can then use to judge the student's feedback. I can as well copy the student feedbacks one by one and then tell it to use the rubrics to mark their scripts and then tell me their weaknesses, their strengths, and all that. So these are creative ways that teachers can start thinking how to leverage these tools to be able to get the best out of the tools. Look at it, it has come up with the rubric here. So once the students start sending in their feedback, I will come back here again and say, help me mark their responses using the rubrics. So as a teacher, I have enough time to think, to read, to do my own research on some other things. Then I come back to the class. I have less time to do. I was sharing with a group of people, I think in Rwanda, and they were like, oh, teachers and students are now using Copilot or ChatGPT to write essays or write their letters. So I said, you know what, you can flip it. I, as the teacher, in this case now, I teach English, for example, right? So I've given my students a topic to write on. I will naturally assume that all of them are going to use GenAI. In fact, there was a competition held in Port Harcourt over the weekend that I gave a presentation, and it was an essay competition, and they said like 70% of the students use GenAI to write the essay competition. But the thing is, some of us that are familiar with these tools, I don't even need to use Undetectable or Zero GPT before knowing that this content is, this one is AI generated. Because students now don't know that there are ways you can leverage the tool to just come up with outlines, give you like ideas, brainstorm with it before you now put pen to paper. So I told them, I said, you know what, I will assume that all my students are using ChatGPT. Then I will say, oh, come to the class, bring out your write-up. Now in the class, critique your own write-up right there in the class and tell me how you can make it better. You know, there's a way teachers can be creative about using all these tools. So the students will come to class with their AI-generated content, yes, but right there in the class, you are now saying, I want you to critique that write-up, then come up with the strengths and weaknesses and make it better in the class. Look at this now. One way the students are learning how to use GenAI. They've gone out to write it, but this time around, you still want them to think. You don't want them to just see GenAI as, oh, the means to an end. So that way we can flip it, right? And you can as well tell your student, I want you to submit your prompt with your responses. I want to assess your prompts. Harvard, for example, I was discussing with one person that is having his PhD. They said, I had to look it up on their website. When you submit your papers or whatever assignment and you use GenAI, you must submit the prompt with it too, because they want to see the level of the amount of work you've done that has gone into your prompt. You can write a prompt of a page, 2 pages. They want to see how you were able to structure your prompt. So let's get back to writing. Aside from using all this, you can tell it to even come up with images that will go in line with your work. Maybe you teach physics, you teach chemistry, and there is this concept. You've combed the web. You couldn't find the specific image that speaks to what you want to do. You can come up to Copilot and say, you know what, I want you to create an image on something, and then you write it there. So if you write, oh, create an image to explain circulatory system, for example, here now, although this prompt is too simple for me, it's lame, but I'll just use that as an example here. By writing this, it's saying I'll try to create that, and it will create that image. If that image is not suitable for you, oh, edit it again, write your prompt and tell it to recreate it. So Copilot is that useful because you are not going outside Copilot. We are not using ChatGPT free version that will not allow you to create images, and then you run to maybe your Midjourney free license, or you run to another GenAI that can allow you create image. You can create image here also in Copilot. So look at the images. So I can say, oh, use an African man or something. It will come up with it again. But there are some things that you won't be able to do. You can't mention the name of a person and say, oh, draw President Tinubu, for example, here now. It will flag it, and it will not allow you to do something like that. So you can't really mention people's name and say, this is what I want you to do. But you can describe, oh, a Nigerian man in the moon. Maybe there is something that you want to lay emphasis on. It will draw it for you. So we are still doing all this under Copilot. Now look at this. If I want any of the images, I will click on it, then it will expand it, bring it up. Look at it here. So I have this image. I can customize this image and say, oh, I still don't like it. Let me click on customize. It will take me to designer. It will take me to the designer where I can edit that image. I can write my text on the image, because there is this one small limitation when it comes to text on images created by either Midjourney or DALL-E or Stable Diffusion. Many a times the text will be written somehow, but you can bring it directly from your Copilot to your designer, and then you start to edit this image. You can add text, you can add whatever you want to add to it. You could see we're moving from Copilot down to this place. So let's get back to Copilot. Maybe you now want to write more things. Let me go back to Copilot. You want to write more text, because here there is a particular length, I think, is it 2000, that you'll be able to type characters, that you'll be able to type here to explain what you want. But if you want more space, that is where you hover here to your notebook, click on notebook, and you see this one is saying, oh, write a detailed prompt. So you can then write your prompts here, step by step, telling Copilot that execute it in this sequential order. Do this, then move to this and move to this. You could see here we have enough space here, and then it will give you your content here. So you still have this here, right? And you can, as well as a teacher or student, bring in an image here and tell it to explain it to you. For example, I'll bring one image here. I know you know the place, but I want Copilot to explain to us. So this is an image that I'm bringing in, and I say, oh, where is this? You will see the image now. I know you know where this place is. So I brought this image in, and I'm saying, where is this? Or I can say, analyze this image for me. Maybe that image has like a complex equation or something. As a teacher that you yourself, you are struggling to understand, you can take a snapshot of the pages of a book and then upload it here and tell it to explain it to you. Or even as a student, there is this equation that is kind of blowing up your mind or giving you issues. You can bring it here and tell it to, oh, I want you to help me with this. Explain what you have here. I think I have one. Can you explain what is in the image? So you can bring in images there and tell Copilot to explain what is there. This is one image from a physics site. So you can bring it here and it will explain to you as a student. So while I am explaining all this, while it's coming up with this, I mentioned a plugin, and that is Suno. So Suno 2 is one of the GPT's plugin on Copilot, and you can access it on suno.com. Suno will allow you create songs, can create songs from a particular topic. You give it text, it will add instrumentals to it, add the voice overlay to it, and play it. Let me tell you a secret. I did one because I make content on social media. I made a song, and somebody from a friend, like a senior brother from Canada, reached out and said, I want you to create anthem for my company. And I created it using Suno. And the person said, wow, I love this. The person just said, send me your account, and sent me $150. I'm like, yeah? I didn't do anything, no. I had to run back to my PC. I did 3 different versions. I said, let me give you 3 more versions so that you can then choose from it. So teachers can start creating content that way. It will give you nice instrumentals, give you sound to back it up, you know, and then you play it, students fall in love with those songs, and then you start the class. There are ways that teachers can just tweak their pedagogy. With all this that we are saying, it's more about your pedagogy, just like I think it was Sameda mentioned it. It's about the pedagogy. Suno is free. Yes, you get I think 3,000 units, and you use I think 10 units per song, and they renew your units like every day or so. So it's free. So you can create more songs on it. Let me just I'll show you briefly. I think my time is almost up. So let me just demonstrate. I'm on this particular page here now. I want to summarize this page. As a student, as a teacher, I am learning. I'm on a page, a web page. Look at this web page. I need to make presentation as a teacher, or as a student, we've been given this URL to study. And I'm like, what do? I can click on the Copilot here, and then under the chat here, I'll say, generate the summary in bullets.
Suggestion for
yeah, look at it here. Generate page summary is there already for me. So I can just say, oh, do this for me. And it will read what we have here. Is saying using what is an EV, because I'm on that page, and it will come up with the bullets here for me. And I'll be able to see, oh, this is what this is talking about. Oh, thank you, Jerry. Let me run with it. Or I can also, okay, create a PowerPoint outline for the presentation. Then it will come up with the outline for me. So you can use these tools different ways. There are other tools that will convert your text to PowerPoint directly, like gamma.app, like Magic Slides, like some of these tools are there that we can use. So right here, you can be querying the web page where you are at every point in time when you are using the Copilot on the Microsoft Edge. So there is so much that you can do. Maybe finally, because I know my time is up and somebody asked a question about Suno, let me just show you suno.com here. Suno.com, you'll be able to use it to create educational videos. I have a friend, he calls himself teacher entertainer or something. So it's more about singing in the class, coming up with songs from some of these things, So teachers can also do this. I still remember the elementary canal of a board that I wrote 99 when I wrote WAEC, because then I turned it to a song, Salivary Gland, Esophagus, 99 or 25 years, I still remember it today. So our students, they love music, so why not just combine that and make your class entertaining for them? Or maybe Paul too, or Stephanie, there is one difficult concept and you're trying to come up with shorthand or acronym for it. We know how we read for exam. You come up with acronyms, and then when you get to the exam, when you write the acronym, you write it. So you can turn some of these things to songs. We love music. I love music. So when you turn it to song and you get to the exam, you're just humming the song and you're writing. So this is Suno. I've got 380 credits here now. So I can just put up my lyrics here and just write my lyrics myself, if that's what I want, or I can turn it back to where I will just describe what I want. You can just describe, a song to teach circulatory system for grade 7. This one, I don't have my lyrics, but if I switch to custom mode, I'll be able to write my own preferred lyrics and then put it there. Somebody was saying, I was a choir master, they go take for church. I will just be composing like every now and then. So you can just bring a passage and just dump it there and tell it to give you the kind of vibe. So here now, you can just say you only want instrumental and you hit create. It will create 2 for you at every instance. It will create 2 versions for you. You play it and choose the one you want. So while it's creating that, let's switch to custom. I prefer using custom mode because I can specify the style of music that I want. So I can put my content here. Let me just come and copy something from Electric Vehicle here. So I'll just copy something from Electric Vehicle here and then put it here. Okay, so here I can break it. Okay, then I'll come here and say, I want Afrobeats. So I want Nigeria Afrobeats here. Or if you want R&B, you want anything, you put it there. If you only want instrumental, you switch it to instrumental, but I want everything. And here, maybe I just want to put EV as the title. then I'll say create. So it will also create it. So it has created circulatory system, and it has also created it's creating, I mean, the EV. Okay, here for me. So I'm not sharing my sound now, so I'll need to stop and reshare briefly. Then I will hand over back to the house so that we can listen to the sound. So let me share with the sound. Okay, so I'm sharing now with the sound, so I can play the music. So let's start with the circulatory system now. Can we hear the sound?
Yes, we can.
See this one now.
Interesting.
And the lyrics, look at the lyrics here. And I can download the video. The video will be playing, and then you'll be seeing the subtitle. The lyrics will be moving on it. So this is one style. No, Mr. Ahmed, you already have two national anthems. You have two national anthems. So this is the EV. This is the EV that I said in Afrobeat.
Oh, lovely.
So electric vehicle in Afrobeat. It's close to real. So for me now, I can start calling myself a musical producer now. I'll start asking people, you want song? Just come here, go and pay. Let me produce you. So it will give you like two options. Look at this one now while I hand over. So there's so much that we can do with all these tools. Again, it boils down to what I said earlier. It is when you don't know how to use a tool that will be complaining about the inadequacy of that tool. So once again, Thank you for the opportunity. I know my time is way, I've gone ahead of time, but thank you. Somebody's dancing. Oh, thank you. I'll hand over back to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Olaliko. It's never a dull moment with you. I mean, thank you. You just added the spice into all of this. I really enjoyed it. I was doing as you were doing until we got to the Afrobeat part, because right now I think you've succeeded in making every one of us now a DJ. Because I'm sure everybody's looking forward to how I'm going to do this. Thank you so much. It's been a very, very, very informative and pleasant demo, informative, educative, at the same time, relatable, to be honest, because like all of us can relate to it. And I'm sure that at the end of the day, the recording is available, the teachers that are making use of this. To be honest, the question on Grant, I know somebody asked the question around how much is this? It's actually free. Even the Copilot, is there any cost to it? It's free. It is only when you're using the one that you're using for your business, it's only going to be centering around searching for content within your environment. That's when you can now be paying for it and all of that. But right now, this is free. You can use it. And another beauty about this is that when you talk about also Microsoft tools for schools, because for education, M365 for education is actually at a if it is not so free, at a very, very discounted price. Because I don't know if there's any money attached to it. I know that in those days, I don't know about now, because I'm sure maybe it has been abused. That if you say, oh, this is your school, Microsoft will give you M365, all of the basic components just for free. But I'm sure now, yes, but now you have education, which is quite very, very discounted. I mean, you're actually paying at a very low fee or nothing really to get that. And those are things we can encourage you to actually use. Thank you so much. I mean, I really enjoyed this. And then I'm sure every one of us, we have passed behind time. But before you go, Olaliko, and I think this question is for you, please. And if there is anybody, this question is for you and Ola, actually, Ola Iboke. do you think there is any way? I know this is very important. I know we've said a lot, but how can artificial intelligence assist in recognizing the strengths and areas for improvement of students?
Okay, yes, that's why I said, are we starting from the basics or the advanced? Because where we should be at the moment here in the country, it's, I think, way past what we've done this evening. But at least we are starting from somewhere. Because the more you start using this tool, each institution, for example, let's start from secondary school or tertiary institution, they can as well come up with their own local model. You know, you can now run your LMM on your own PC. You can adapt it, training, build what we call like your own knowledge base, and then tell you what you want it to do. And then you can come up with, tell it to come up with some questions that your student will respond to that can be fed back into it, and it will come up with what it could identify, what it could see that are probably going on with this set of students. There are different tools that have been built on AI already that the student will interact with for a while, and then it will identify this. So schools can build even GPTs, right? Schools can build their own GPTs, train it on how to interact with individual students and come up with its own observation, whether the student is presumed to have autism or this or that, and the best way, the best approach to teach such students. Or we can bring it down to the basic. Oh, as a teacher, I found out or I've observed that Olaleko in the class is restless, or these are my traits. Then I can run to Copilot and describe the student and then ask it and say, based on different theories out there, can you advise on how best to deal with this student? So it comes down to you yourself as an educator knowing how to weigh this powerful tool that we have at our disposal.
Thank you so much. That's very, very, very brilliant. Ola, do you have anything to add to that? Ola, let me pick your own question because of time, and I know that because we've already used a lot of the time. So let me go straight to you, Ola, in this manner. I think. How would you address those who argue that implementing AI in the classroom might lead to a digital divide, where students with limited access to technology are left behind? Because you see all of the things that Leko has showed us now. So let's go back to my own village in Ogun State, in that under the rock, very well, where you still have people that even internet has not reached. So what do you think? How would you argue that implementing AI in the classroom might lead to a digital divide where students with limited access are left behind, really?
This is a very valid concern, and I'm going to give 5 predictions on AI in education in the coming years. In fact, not now. We are in the early stage and early phase of it. We are still finding how it's going to come into what we do. So the first phase is where AI is literally being infused into the things we do, including education, and that's what we are seeing right now. A stage is coming when AI will not become the face of that education. Now it's going into it. Later it's going to be the whole thing that actually deliver the education and learning experience. But here are my 5 predictions, and I have wanted to share this for some times now, but don't be scared because some of them are scary. First, in the future, there will be no classes or stages in learning. There won't be anything like I'm in primary school or I'm in secondary school, I'm in university. There won't be anything like that. There will only be learning part. And this will be done through AI education profiling. So what do you want to learn? What do you like? What's your interest? The moment you discover that, then you are being tailored. Your journey starts from there. It doesn't have to be, I have to be in primary school, crèche, all those phases. AI will truly make them irrelevant. Academic institutions will be more of extracurricular activities in the future than learning. It will be more of social meetings, more where we meet with people and others, because AI is literally going to be your education partner, and education will have changed and evolved by then. A new literacy level will emerge with largest gap in human history. Very important. So that is the digital divide. It will exist. And the impact of that digital divide will be that there will be 2 words. There won't be 3 again. We have third word, we have first, second. There will only be 2 words, the first word and the second word. There will be nothing like third word. It's either you are advanced and developed or you are not, and you are far behind. The pace at which the AI is developing is very fast, it's rapid. And so it's going to continue to create that gap hugely. Imagine where I'm here in America, I'm a master's student here. I go to classroom, my mouth is always open. I'm always happy when my lecturers are teaching me. The classroom, laptop already in on every table, you have practical. There's even a virtual environment where you can do all the software that I installed there. I can't even imagine that. Students have no limitations. Here, you don't have laptop, you go to the library, they'll give you laptop to use for the semester. It is available for students. And imagine a world like that over here, where our lecturers are already even encouraging you to use AI in whatever you are doing, but you have to come to class to defend it. To a system, a world where they have not even come to, some of them have not seen how this thing work in their life. So the gap will become wider. And so it's scared, but yes, there will be two. It's either you are in or you are not. And then I see the most toughest part is that act and ungoverned AI system will actually be used to initiate adopted children to a different culture and belief system. So it's easier to bring someone from a different culture to a new system, because as young, at the early stage, AI is already your companion, is your partner. And whatsoever you learn is already trained to bring you up in a particular value system and everything. And you just grow into it. Today, we grew into what we were trained to be by society. So AI become the society around, little children or adopted children. That can be positive, it can be negative. It can be positive in reviving people that have lost, family, friends, and so many things to war and the rest, just rehabilitating them. It can be very positive to do that. It can also be negative for people, who are perpetrating evil with that, just to instigate or bring in a different mindset and moral system to people. And that can be against the societal moral. So those are my 5 predictions. They look scary somehow, but I see at this first phase we are leveraging for advantage, but it's coming to a time where we're going to see some other harm of the AI. But the digital divide is valid and is very significant. It is a concern that must be addressed. Is it going to exist? It's already existing. But how can we address it? First, we have to. That's why I'm very happy with what Minister Bosun Tijani is doing. If network and internet do not get to those remote areas, there's no way. We will just be talking about it. Lagos today, we know, is the most evolved and developed tech ecosystem in Nigeria. I take Lagos out, take Abuja, some Southwest now are, doing a lot of activities around education, but take them out, other states, what are they into? So we already see that the penetration level is low, and that will lead to more divide. So something like embracing satellite communication. That's what Starlink is doing. Having that can provide internet to rural areas, more rural areas, developing edge device. We shouldn't expect people to do that for us. And that's why I'm really happy that Microsoft is going that way. Edge computing is the future. Because people can have these devices, and in their hands is that the ability to run AI-related solutions and services. Imagine we have a phone or our smart TV now, a single smart TV in the class. And that TV in the class now has AI chips in it. And with that AI chips could do many of those things we've talked about in AI revolutionizing, places. Take that single TV to a rural area, to one classroom. So you now have a teacher that has a collaborator and can use that thing to deliver a lot of things inside. Imagine we're in class, I'm teaching a concept, and I use the Suno right there, either there's network or not, because there's AI chips in that system. And I could use that system to compose song that we can remember to help us understand this concept we just learned now. And it's playing the song, and all the children are happy to use that to wrap up the class. So those are the things that can be done to sort of address few of these data divides, but it's definitely going to be there, except we have.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, that was elaborate enough. Thank you. I mean, I don't want to stop you, and it's a very, very valuable. But we need to really appreciate.
I also try to stop myself so that I don't take too much of time.
I thank you so much. I think we'll also really, really appreciate what the minister is doing. The minister for communication is doing. I mean, Minister Bosun Tijani is actually doing very, very well. I mean, there's a lot that is coming, and I follow him on LinkedIn, and I follow also the Nigeria satellite, what do they call it? The Nigeria satellite communication satellites. I think they also are doing a lot around that. Very, very interesting days ahead. We are hoping that all of these, even as more penetration is done, the gap will actually be closing up. I mean, the gap will be lessening, so to say, close up more, so to say. Thank you so much. It's always fun to have you around. All right, then. So I'll quickly move over to Madam Christie. Sorry, Ma. I think, yes, I want to ask you my question now. So, and the question is that how can educators receive the necessary training and access the resources required to implement AI? I think I've asked you that before, but in a more meaningful way. How do you think? So what are the strategies that you feel today, whether it is, I don't want it to be as if maybe everything is okay, government has to do this, government has to do this, but educators themselves, what do you think they need to do themselves to ensure that they are abreast or they are moving with the trend that AI is going in the education sector?
First thing, they need to even know that, okay, they need to know that there's a change. Things have changed, and then so their mentality, their mindset must be changed to know that there's something new and they need to learn how to use the new thing. Because we're working with, okay, for somebody like me that is in the north, our situation is even worse. You know, we're still battling with people that are not even accepting the reality of technology being involved. And so the number one thing that we're trying to do is to change the mindset of people to know that education is changing. It's not going to be business as usual. And then there should be training. A lot of our teachers are not even teachers. A lot of them are just doing something because they need a job. And so it's not passion. They don't have passion for it. And so, but then even with the AI that we're talking about, is going to help develop them and then upgrade their knowledge to really know how to teach. And so a lot of trainings and workshops, seminars, you know, development needs to put in place for our teachers, for our school administrators. You know, like when he was doing the co-pilot, I mean, I've done the co-pilot, trying to do something, plan lesson, grading, whatever in co-pilot, and take it to Gemini, ChatGPT, and then to see the differences and all of those things. So teachers need to learn to see how these things can help us. And we also have even the AI that can help you set questions, that can help you do different things in classroom. And so I believe that if we sensitize people and then organize trainings like workshops and seminars, and people come to know that we have something that can really help, you know, revolutionize our educational system. And then another thing is our curriculum. We really have IQ curriculum that is not working at all. Curriculum that is not solving problem, that is not even helping our children to think critically. So I also think if we're going to embark on this, we need to work on our curriculum. For example, even the university, the curriculum they're using in computer science, it doesn't even help the student to code or to write anything, any program. And so with the AI now, even Copilot can help you to learn to code. And so we need to really change the curriculum we've been using. And I think we also need to come up with policies, how to use the AI in our schools, how to use the AI in our communities. There should be policy guiding us, because AI is not perfect. AI is about the data that we have, and some things they don't have enough data to predict, you know, the truth or the reality you're looking out for. And so we need to also know that AI has limitation, but we also need to encourage people as they use AI, we should still, do our best to use to make sure that we're thinking critically to be able to solve the problems that we have in our communities, problems in our country. We should develop things that will solve our own problems and not just adopting things because they're in vogue or they're trending.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you completely. Thank you so much, Ma, for that elaborate answer to the question. I mean, thank you so much. And then to our educators out there, to the teachers and lecturers, please, to the advice of Mother Christie, you have to be intentional about it. You have to be intentional about moving, advancing your skills also. We don't want the student to come to the class and then I'll shine you and then you are looking like, oh, and then it becomes a conflict of learning or skills. So, but we want a situation where we have a balanced school system with both educators and students well equipped with the right knowledge. And then moving on to Mr. Lariwaju, I think Madam Christie has said a lot around also the ethical considerations. So my question is really around that right now. What are the ethical considerations that educators should make rather when using AI in education settings, particularly regarding data privacy and algorithm bias?
Yeah, thank you so much, Madam Christie. Yeah, of course, we can't be talking about AI and we should forget about the ethical considerations. For many of us that we got into AI at the beginning, we already gone far before the issue of ethical consideration started coming up. So now that we are bringing this closer to the desktop of educators, we need to also serve them the ethical consideration part. Like today now, during the meetup for the devs in government, the theme today was responsible use of data. So we need to consider, just like you said, data privacy, algorithm bias, accountability and transparency, equity access, and a lot of stuff. So let's look at data privacy. We need to emphasize some things from the day one, and which is consent. It's very, very important that we put this in the mind of both students and parents, that some data will be collected as we use this AI, as we embrace AI. We need to be explicit about it. It's very, very important. We need to assure them that this data being collected, being used along the line, will be protected from any unauthorized access and breaches. And most importantly, when you see some forms, when you go to some settings and you see some forms that people are filling, you are like, please, for goodness sake, why this number of data being collected? So in the education setting, we need to emphasize that data minimization, as little as possible of data that is needed. Don't over collect data. And also, most importantly, anonymization. I attended a course by World Bank on data collection. I was so surprised on the effort that they take into anonymizing data. It's very important. Let me give you a typical example. If you go into a public place and you see it, this higher education somewhere at the security man's office, and they ask you to write your name, your phone number, and some other data, please, for goodness sake, what do they need all this data for? And this booklet will be exposed. So anybody can come over there and pick this data up. It's so sad. So we also need to, talk about the bias. It's important that we make them understand what bias means and the need to have representative data while they are working in this space. And regularly, they need to audit the system. And of course, continuous mentoring. Part of the benefit that they will get in today's world is explainability. We're talking about accountability and transparency. Many of us did not get it from the beginning when we jumped into AI. So good for them now that this is coming on board. So as we are encouraging them to do AI, we're also letting them know that there's a need to be transparent, clear policies. And finally, I'll talk about what we call human connection and emotional well-being. Look at the session we just had with Olalekan. I mean, you consider connect. We shouldn't make AI look like a robot. Adoption AI looks like a robot. No, we need to balance the use of AI and human interaction, because it's very important that we maintain human connection. Otherwise, everybody will just become zombie, will become a robot. So that's the truth. When you see something, sometimes when people go on, sometimes when you look at the contents, just like Oyiboke said, okay, you have used Gen AI, okay, let's see your prompts. I'll give a typical example. Before now, just like MJ said, I mean, I can do any calculation in my head, no matter how complex it is. That's calculation. Now let's look at English. Remember in those days, people would do spelling of words to check our vocabulary. Now, I'm so many of us cannot write almost one complete sentence without asking Microsoft what to edit for us. That's what it has become. I mean, that's what it has become. So we really need to ensure that as we are using AI tools, we need to design them to be supportive and also, most importantly, empathetic, because we need to consider the emotions of these students as much as possible. And finally, data protection. There are so many legal frameworks around now, so many. And we all need to be aware of them, all of us. As we are pushing this to educators, we also need to ensure that we push the legal framework. I mean, Nigeria GDPR is there, GDPR is there, a lot of GDPR is there. We need to be aware of how all this operates. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, so I think it's quite very, very, very important that a framework around the ethical use of AI, and I think that framework, how a framework that is specifically built into each sector, I mean, is something that is needed. I mean, why I'm saying that is that if I come into an industry or a sector like education, there should be a framework that is guiding the use of AI around that. So also if I go into an healthcare sector, there should be a framework that governs the use of AI, which is quite very important. So I think that from your conversation, thank you so much, Mr. Yes. I know Mr. Larry Ahmed, I called you Larry just now. All right, then I'll move on quickly to Paul. So Paul, yes, just briefly, because I know we're past time really. What are the advantages of personalized adaptive learning over traditional methods? Just in all of this, that just look at what the journey we've taken so far, and then with considering what Lekon has done in that demo. What do you think are the advantages of personalized adaptive learning over traditional methods?
Okay, thank you. Personalized adaptive learning to me offers several advantages over traditional educational methods. Primarily due to its that ability to tailor the learning experiences to the individual needs of each student. So it provides you this customized and efficient and engaging learning experience. So just like we have Microsoft Learn, a platform where you can easily amass a lot of the sources there to learn on technologies on your own. So on traditional educational method, you just have to wait, go to the lecturer. So everything is based on you have to go first, wait, they give you, you come back. But more of personalized is flexible. So individuals it's leveraging technology to meet that individual need. So students can be able to access learning systems, and also that will enhance their education. So during the holidays, they're able to learn more. They don't need to wait to resume school first to learn. So, and also when the lecturer gives you assignments, they're able to learn all that. So it helps optimize the use of time and resources for both the students and also the educator.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Stephanie, thank you. I mean, lastly, what do you recommend? What recommendations would you make to ensure accessibility and usability of AI tools are included in special education?
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. Well, in everything that we do, we need to ensure that it is accessible and it is usable by everybody, like every single person. We need to ensure that inclusion is, paramount. It's at the forefront. So the first thing that I would recommend is developing of, inclusive design. Whatever system we are building, whatever tool we are building, we should always make sure that we implement inclusive design. And this means involving, special education people, involving teachers, involving parents. If you want to build something for a specific set of people, you don't build it abstractly, or you don't build it like you're saying, okay, I'm just going to build it. No, you have to carry out research. You have to ask these people that, okay, I want to build this thing. What are your needs? What do you want to see in it? What solution? What are your problems? Then from that, we can now tailor a solution to their problems. So we can ask the students, whoever wants to use these, these systems, we ask them, and then we ensure that the design process meets the, the unique needs of all the learners, of all the people who would use that system. And then another thing is implementing like a multi-sensory learning option. What I mean is that AI tools, or these tools, should offer, multi-sensory learning options, to cater for different learning styles. Everybody has a different learning style. Everybody has how they learn, the capacity at which they learn, and how they, take in information. And this could include like visual, auditory, whatever elements. For example, you can implement a text-to-speech for people who have hearing problems. You can implement that, or a speech-to-text for someone who has, reading and writing difficulties. Implementing these things into these tools will make everybody feel like, okay, yes, this was designed for me. This was designed for me. I can use this. I can use it. No one is left out. Another thing is, providing, customizable accessibility features. I went for an event recently, and then the stage, I was a speaker at that event, and then the stage, there was no, like, it was staircase and it was high. There was no slope to accommodate wheeling me up the stage. Then, during the course of the events, they got a plank, sort of like a plank, and they put it across the stage. So when it was my session, they just wheeled me up through that plank. So we need to customize. If it's not there, add it. If it's not there, put it there. Because you don't know where the audience is going to come from. You don't know if somebody with special needs will use that tool. So AI tools should include like a range of customizable, accessibility features. And these might be, okay, I'm using a tool now, and maybe somebody who is short-sighted, you have that feature where they can adjust their text size. You have that feature where they can adjust the color contrast to accommodate their sights. For students with visual impairments, for people with hearing impairments, you have the feature where their audio can be adjustable. You can adjust the settings, not just like it's just one setting that is there. You adjust it to meet the needs of different people. And then you can use, another thing is assistive technologies. You can integrate AI with already existing, assistive technologies that can enhance the, effectiveness. For instance, AI-driven speech recognition. These two can, improve communication aids for students with speech and language disorders. And also AI can enhance screen readers and magnification tools for visually impaired students. And lastly, I would say personalized learning. Again, not everybody has the same capacity, how they take in information and all of that. So AI has the ability to do personalized learning, and it is very, very, very beneficial in special education. And AI tools should offer tailored learning experiences that, would adapt to each student's abilities and each student progress. For someone with dyslexia now, it is a different thing. Someone with dyslexia learning progress is different from someone who is just like, normal. They might not be able to take in some things fast. While I'm here taking in all the information, them, they are still struggling with, one line. So we need to focus on personalized. There's a personalized learning now. They can just say, okay, there's something for people with dyslexia. Okay, tweak settings. This is your personalized learning. Okay, take it one line after the other. With that, everybody is included. And then the personalized learning feature will have personalized learning path for them. We take it at their pace. We have targeted exercises, and we also give them feedback. This way, we are supporting them. We are supporting individual growth also. And then we also have to educate ourselves, because all of these things start from the mind. We have to educate ourselves. We have to provide trainings for educators. We have to provide trainings for people who own these special education schools, whatever. We have to provide trainings on how to maximize the potential use of AI tools. We have to teach ourselves, talk to ourselves, change our mindsets on these things. And I believe that with that, we should be able to use AI tools in, special education. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you so much. That was well, very elaborate. Thank you so much. I want to say very thank you. I know it's past time, but we can keep the conversation on in LinkedIn, please. We've gone more than 1 hour overboard. I'm so sorry, but it's very interesting. I think all of you will agree with me. It's been a very interesting, educative, insightful, and informative session. Once again, I want to say a very big thank you to all of the panelists, all of our speakers. Please, I'd like everyone to turn on their camera. Let's just see if we can quickly take, we can all take, let me see if I can allow my camera for everyone. And then all of us can turn on our camera, even to our audience. Thank you so much for the audience for staying with us still even to this very time. We appreciate you guys. And then to everyone, all of our speakers, thank you so much. There are some other questions.
Where's Stephanie? Where's Stephanie? Where's Stephanie?
Yes, she's coming on. So I'm just gonna put it on.
Titi, I can see your face. So how are you?
So I'm going to put everyone on gallery. So everyone, yes.
I'm doing well. Thank you. Fine.
All right. Thank you. Thank Stephanie. I'm not seeing your face. Thank you so very much. All of you have been very awesome speakers, and also the everyone